It's the Lunar New Year, and China's putting on a show. 4 rising humanoid robot startups demonstrating their advances, showcasing the country's cutting-edge industrial policy and Beijing's push to dominate the future of robot manufacturing to more than 1 billion people.
1 billion people watched this live, and for the first time in history, robots didn't look like machines. They looked like something else entirely. But what happened off that stage, in the rehearsal rooms, behind the cameras, that's what's making engineers quietly nervous. And that's exactly where this video starts. 1 year ago, same company, same stage, 16 robots, a synchronized traditional dance. The world went crazy. Headlines everywhere, millions of shares. And the general consensus? That's probably the ceiling. This year, that ceiling got demolished. What Unitree just pulled off at the 2026 Spring Festival Gala didn't just change what robots can do, it changed what's coming, faster than anyone planned for. Stay with me. Unitree brought their G1 humanoid robots onto that stage, dozens of them. And then the flips started, full backflips, in formation, landing clean, every single time, in front of 1 billion live viewers with 0 margin for error. Then the wall runs, robots launching off vertical surfaces, catching air, returning to formation like the laws of physics were a suggestion. Then the weapons came out, staff work, nunchucks, spinning transitions between moves that would take a human martial artist years to sequence cleanly. The crowd didn't know how to react, because nothing in their experience had a category for this. And then, right when people thought they'd seen everything, Drunken Fist. If you know anything about Chinese martial arts, Drunken Fist is one of the most technically demanding styles ever developed. It's designed to look completely out of control, stumbling, chaotic, unpredictable, while every single movement underneath is perfectly calculated. A robot had to master control so completely that it could perform the convincing appearance of losing it. Think about that. That's when people stopped cheering and started staring, because that wasn't choreography anymore. That was control. Here's what the performance didn't show you. After the gala, Unitree released rehearsal footage. Most people scrolled past it. That was a mistake. One clip, Wang Xingxing, Unitree's founder, standing completely still. Between 2 G1 robots, no cage, no barrier, no distance between him and the machines. Both robots launch into synchronized backflips right beside him and land clean. He doesn't move, doesn't flinch, doesn't even shift his weight. Now, before you call that reckless, understand what you're actually looking at. A backflip is one of the hardest things you can ask a humanoid robot to execute. The system has to calculate torque, launch angle, rotational speed, landing impact, and balance correction, all in fractions of a second. Get any single variable wrong, the robot goes down hard. Wang knows this better than anyone on the planet. He stood there anyway. Not for the camera, not for drama, because he'd already seen those machines perform that movement thousands of times. He knew exactly where the boundary was, and he knew he was safe inside it. That stillness is a very specific kind of confidence, the kind that only comes from engineering you'd trust with your life. But there's another clip, quieter, less dramatic, that actually explains how all of this was possible. Dozens of G1s lined up on a training floor, the entire floor covered in precise grid markings. Every robot calibrating itself to a shared coordinate system before a single movement begins, making sure every machine in that room agrees on exactly where it is in space, relative to every other machine. That grid wasn't decoration. That grid was the invisible architecture underneath every flip, every weapon sequence, every wall run you watched on that stage. The performance wasn't the breakthrough, the precision was. Let's put a number on what just happened. 12 months? That's the gap between 16 robots doing a careful coordinated dance, and dozens of robots running as an autonomous swarm, doing aerial flips, weapons routines, and wall runs, with human performers sharing the same stage. No remote control, no joysticks, no human puppeteering each machine. A central system managing formation, spacing, and collision avoidance across the entire group, while each individual robot made its own real-time balance corrections using onboard sensors. That's not an upgrade. That's a category jump in one product cycle. And here's the number that makes this land differently. The commercial G1 starts at $16,000. The stage versions were spec'd up. Better actuators, faster processors, tighter motion control, probably around $60,000 fully upgraded. But this is not a prototype. It's not a one-off lab experiment that lives behind glass. It has a price. It has a shipping address. You can buy it. And when a machine improves this fast, and you can buy it, that's when technology stops being a demo. That's the line, and we just crossed it. Now think about where this goes next. Factory floors where the same precision that handled a live performance handles assembly at scale. Warehouses running 24 hours without fatigue, without error accumulation, without sick days. Construction sites where the environment changes every single day and the machine adapts in real time. Disaster response zones, collapsed buildings, flood areas, environments too dangerous for humans, where autonomous coordination and physical adaptability aren't impressive features. They're the entire point. And then there's the layer nobody's saying plainly. China has publicly committed to leading the global humanoid robotics market by 2027, not a corporate target. A national strategic priority, with government policy and industrial coordination behind it. They chose the most watched broadcast in human history to deliver a progress report. Every robotics company, every defense contractor, every government evaluating where autonomous systems are headed. They all saw the same footage at the same moment. That wasn't a scheduling coincidence, this wasn't entertainment, it was a broadcast. Here's what seals it. At almost the exact same moment, Unitree was performing on that stage. A completely separate company dropped footage that made researchers do a double take. Abot, founded by former Huawei engineers, operating out of Shanghai. Their A3 humanoid robot, continuous mid-air sidekicks, side flips with barely any ground contact between movements, full backflips completing in under half a second, with landings so controlled they look edited. And then this moment. The A3 launches rapid kicks toward a human standing nearby, and the person steps back. Not because they were directed to for the video, because something involuntary happened. The human nervous system registered physical threat, and noticed and responded before the brain had time to process this is a machine. You can't fake that reaction. You can't direct it. It just happens. Two companies. Different machines, different engineering teams, different approaches, same breakthrough, same year. That's not coincidence. That's what a technology inflection point looks like from the inside. Multiple players arriving at the same threshold through completely different paths at nearly the same moment. It happened with smartphones. It happened with AI. It's happening right now, and most people haven't recognized it yet. Every technology that permanently changed the world had a specific crossing point. Not a product launch, not a press release. A moment where it stopped being something people were impressed by and became something they had to take seriously whether they wanted to or not. The internet had one. Most people missed it in real time. The smartphone had one. A lot of people called it a toy first. I had one. And the people who recognized it early, even 6 months ahead, operated in a completely different reality than the people who caught up later. I think we just watched humanoid robotics cross that line. Not in a lab, not in a controlled environment built for optics, on a live stage in front of 1 billion people, on a broadcast schedule with no room for failure, next to human performers who kept moving like it was normal. Because on that stage, for them, it already was. And that brings me back to Wang Xingxing, standing still, between two machines mid-backflip, completely calm. That image keeps coming back to me, not because it's dramatic, but because of what it represents. The moment technology becomes normal to the people building it is usually the moment the rest of the world is already late. Now I want to hear from you. Does this excite you, or does it scare you? Drop it in the comments, because genuinely both answers make sense right now, and I read every single one. If this video made you think differently about where we're headed, hit the like button. It sounds small, but it's how videos like this reach people who actually need to see it. And if you're not subscribed yet, this channel is where we track exactly this kind of shift. No hype. No panic, just the moments that actually matter before the rest of the world catches up. The next one's already in the works, and if tonight is any indication, you don't want to miss it.